What's up, everybody? What's going on? Hey, this is an evening edition. I had every intention. Look at this lighting here. Let me see if I can fix this light a little bit. Maybe I can't. Anyway, had every intention on jumping on here this morning about 8:30 a.m. Didn't happen. Wanted to talk a little bit about this idea of success being beyond what your eyes can see. And sort of the theme of this broadcast today is just about trusting. And if you haven't been on my Facebook page today, if you are on the Facebook page, you can see the post that I made. And that post really has an image of sort of a bridge where you can see this large chasm, if you will, this large, I guess I want to call it a cliff, where you're about to walk across an area which looks like a bridge to the other side of this mountain, this cliff, this chasm, whatever you might want to call it. And unfortunately, though, there's some clouds. There's some visibility that is cut off in the image. And I chose that image. Some of you guys don't know that I choose a lot of these images myself. I don't take all those pictures, by the way, but I choose those images because I try to choose a message, an image that relates to the message that I'm posting for the day. But here's this idea that success goes beyond what your eyes can see is really rooted in the theme that you have to trust in processes. You have to trust in guides, people who've been there before, right? I talk all day, not all day necessarily, but every day I have a conversation at least with one new business owner or a business owner that is looking for help in the area that I work in business, online marketing, sales, demand generation, whatever you want to call it. And it's very interesting that the majority of them have never done this work before. They've never done online marketing before, or they may be coming from a scenario where things didn't work out right. So this idea of trusting in the process and going beyond what your eyes can see, the image essentially is relating to this idea that you're not going to know everything before you make a decision to go on the journey. You're not going to necessarily have a clear path of success once you decide to go after that thing that you're going after. And I think it's something that debilitates a lot of us. Sometimes we want to know step by step on how it's going to work out. And the reality is, even if you're working with an expert, they can't guarantee that it's going to work out exactly the way it's supposed to. And I think that is something that those of us who have been fortunate enough to have gone through pathways where we were willing to go places that we weren't sure exactly what the outcome would be, but that we chose either a guide or we chose someone's path or plan to follow, that we trusted in that plan. And it's just very funny to me how many people I talk to, and it doesn't matter what their walk of life, it doesn't matter what their background, it doesn't matter what the idea is. It's just so funny how people, I had a conversation today with a guy, and this was the third conversation with him. And at the end of the day, it's just interesting to me that while my company has helped companies do 9 figures in revenue over the last 9 years, and I'm not saying that to brag, but our marketing system is a system. It is a strategically mapped out process that has worked over and over and over again for 31 different industries at this point. It works with every buying type of process. And I'm talking to him specifically about how this process will work for his business. And he's just still thinking, I'll think about it. I'll think about it. And I've had that conversation now 3 times in the past week. You reached out to us because you needed a plan. You reached out because you needed a strategy. I'm breaking down that plan and that strategy as we would execute it for your business. You say you need the help, but then there's all this hesitation. I'm not sure if I want to do that. I think a lot of us do the same thing. I love fitness, and I think about it in the fitness arena. You start a diet or exercise program, and you think, man, you're all fired up the first day, but when you wake up day 2 and you're sore, you're questioning your decision. You go to the grocery store and you got to buy all this food that you've never eaten before. I just finished eating some chips that I bought this weekend, and I bought 2 things this weekend that I don't know if I ever in the past would have bought. But of course, it's first of the year. We're trying to clean up our diet around the Evans household a little bit. And so we bought this almond spread, which I love almonds, but just think of hummus, but it's like an almond dip, but it has the consistency of a hummus. The chips that they were serving with this at Costco, by the way, if you ever go to Costco, you know you're going to get caught at the at the sample table. Turns out this was a great table. The chips that they were serving with the samples, they were sold out in the store, so we had to pick a different chip. So I buy this multi-grain chip, and I'm going to tell you that the chip is delicious. The interesting part is I'd have never bought the chip if you'd have just told me what the ingredients were individually. So the ingredients are, I can't even remember now. I think millet, rice, quinoa, chia, and amaranth. Like, I would have never thought that that could become a tortilla chip or a similar thing to a tortilla chip. But the interesting part is if I want to be healthier and I want to buy, I can't take Doritos and dip them in almond dip, which this almond dip is super healthy, non-vegan, vegan, non-GMO, all that good stuff, gluten-free, all that good stuff. But I got to trust that I should marry that with another product that's going to keep me on path to being healthier. I hope that makes sense. That's kind of a random thing, but it just happened this weekend. But this idea that it's just interesting to me that if you're going to a place that you've never been and you've reached out to a guide to help you get there, you've got to go all in and make the commitment to trust that person's plan. I think that's really the message that I wanted to get across today is trust the person's plan. And I think so many people, they want to come up with excuses why their plan isn't going to work. Well, because I'm not familiar with it, can we do it a different way? But when I tried it last time and I heard of a similar way of doing it, it didn't work out for me back then. And it's a terrible, terrible, debilitating mindset that will stall all progress in whatever it is that you want to do. Success lies beyond what your eyes can see. You know, there's a book that I read, very famous book. You probably know the book. And it says, faith, is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. And so whether you read this book or don't read this book, I think of today's quote in a very similar line. And that is, though if you look at the picture that I posted, you will see that you are going to be crossing a bridge. It looks like the bridge is there all the way across the chasm, but there's some clouds. There's going to be something obstructing your view. And no matter what it is you're trying to accomplish in life, there's always going to be something to obstruct your view. If you're working with a guide, you're working with someone who's been down that path, trust the path that they put you on. I'll talk to you again tomorrow. Take care.